Located only 30 minutes from central London, Denham Place is one of the UK's most important country houses. Built in 1688, its owners have included Bonaparte royals, the American banker J.P. Morgan, Harry Saltzman, the Bond producer, an eclectic but important mix. After an 8-year restoration completed recently, the estate now includes 12 reception rooms, 12 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, family and catering kitchens, a private chapel, a cinema, the grounds laid out with inspiration from Versailles, and it's on the market for £75 million. I'd like to introduce you to Alex Kravetz, lead designer on the restoration, and a fount of knowledge about the property.
So welcome to the Great Hall, the main entrance to the house, where people would normally arrive from the magnificent drive as we just came through. When I first arrived at this property, it was actually an office building. Plenty of things were not in existence or were completely covered up. As an initial layer to begin the design, we had to study all the archives and understand what was here before. This room was significant in a sense that it had the monogram on the ceiling of one of the original owners, Sir Reginald Hill. He was the original mastermind behind this house when it was built in 1688. So we proceed to the drawing room, the main reception of the house. In the old days, where the entrance used to be, opening up right here. So imagine arriving in this room when it was still an office block and you see all the walls painted completely white, and all of a sudden you start uncovering all the layers after layers. There is so much history in this place that you really need to go on a treasure hunt and reconstruct what every generation contributed. Benjamin Way, the later inheritor of the house, he actually changed the entrances from what was customary at the time. And from the grand reception, this becomes a drawing room. It's for the entire family to come together. In terms of restoration, it's a beautiful room in yellow. It was quite significant at the time to make things very happy. Every single piece here was restored to its original grandeur. What you see here on the walls today is silk fabric that comes from archives of the only remaining silk manufacturer in England to actually restore and produce them again in this beautiful yellow color. The name music room comes from the musical instruments right in the center of the ceiling. As you can see, it's almost like another drawing room, but of a different type. It's less formal, it's more for entertainment. That's where music comes into play. So we have this beautiful Bachstein old piano, which was also totally restored, and you can just see this incredible ceiling, which we had to do full restoration on. It was actually sinking under the weight of the floors above, and this was all done at the time by the English craftsmen. And you can see a French influence that comes from historical connotation of the Napoleon Bonaparte's family staying at Denham. The wall lights were actually produced by a French company that's responsible for the restoration of the Louvre as well as Versailles, and they were brought to the house to bring their expertise as well. A large part of the design brief was not only to restore this amazing property, but also to create a home. That was the most challenging part, to create the home within the palace. From the 1920s, this room was actually used as a billiards room, and our tribute to that was to reinstate that feel. Beautiful tapestry, and this room is actually called Tapestry Room because historically that's where you would hang your most prized possessions, like the tapestries that were only fit for the king. Beautiful ceiling work, and that is completely different to the music room next door. This one is very primitive in its style by the local English craftsman in 1700s, and that tells us the story of Denham Village. You can actually see the bridge going over the river, which is still there today. Part of our work was also to peel off all the historical layers of paint and by chemical analysis do a complete reproduction of what was there at the time. So the colors as restored as they were originally produced. One of the most impressive and beautiful rooms in the house is the library. It's actually one of the most original interiors still preserved as it was built in 1688. You can see it's a magnificent space, beautiful as a private office, also amazing as a meeting room. And on the ceiling you can see the fresco that is taken tribute to Paolo Cialo's Battle of San Gimignano, which is in the National Gallery in London. We also have the original cherub, and this space is just incredible. It was so incredible that it was used for filming of one of the James Bond films, when Harry Saltzman was in residence. He actually reproduced this library back at the film studios next door for the film. And the floor is made from leather, hand embossed, produced in Florence, specifically for this house. This is the cinema room. We are in the lower ground floor. This room also doubles up as a function room. So you can take away all the seats and put banqueting style tables and chairs and effectively serve 80 guests for dinner with full entertainment. What we've also done is decorated the vaulted ceilings with the 24-karat gold frescoes. We had a team of artists working here for 5 months, all hand-painted, and this ceiling was actually one of the most amazing features upon the completion of the house. And here's another unique space, and that is a Bond bar. We've created this space specifically for the entertainment, and from here on you can connect to other spaces like the Bond bar lounge, and it's a very informal, very speakeasy environment. Think of it as a music room for the new generation. The vaulted ceiling comes here from the old house architecture. This room used to be a storeroom, and we thought converting it to a bar will be a great addition to all the more formal spaces at the top. We are now in the chapel, and normally you would find the chapel in much more significant palatial residences as a private chapel of the king, and here we actually have it also as a feature in the house. Today it's repurposed as the champagne bar. It's a great place to contemplate and gather as a family, friends, and enjoy a beautiful evening together. In terms of restoration, this was the most interesting part of the project. So it was all painted completely white with a green carpet on the floor, no marble floors as you see them today. The paneling allegedly comes from Hampton Court. So as part of the restoration, I had to go to Hampton Court and pick the right color for all this beautiful detailing on the panels you see today. We're now on the great staircase, the oak-paneled most significant staircase in the house, leading to the principal suites and other bedrooms. The most interesting part of the staircase is the coat of arms of Sir Roger Hill. Again, you can see his family crest, and this is one of 2 staircases connecting all the levels in the house, and there is also a lift that was integrated within the fabric of the building to connect all the 4 floors. And here we are in the principal suite of Denham Place. A magnificent lounge fit for a king with the gorgeous ceilings, all original, all restored to its prime glory. And we have wonderful space full of paneled walls, silk curtains, and the view overlooking the Champagne Garden and the sunken garden below. Moving on to the principal bedroom, 4-poster bed which was carved in the region of Venice, especially commissioned for this gorgeous bedroom. Beautiful ceiling, more examples of fantastic plasterwork. When we started the restoration, you could not see any of this beautiful work. All the beautiful paneling, ceilings, frescoes and plasterwork is in its original state, meticulously restored. Gold leaf applied quite generously on all the panels, fully integrating air conditioning, all the new mods and cons, audio-visual system. It features an incredible bathroom setup, and one of the bathrooms has its own jacuzzi space. The wardrobe of the suite is also a double volume space. You have effectively 2 levels of hanging space with its own private study, dressing room, 2 volumes accessible by the spiral staircase, handcrafted specifically for this project in an empire style. There are 12 bedrooms in Denham Place. They are all similar in their facilities, but differ in style. All of them have beautiful marble bathrooms and wonderfully appointed wardrobe rooms. And here we are in the most beautiful part of the gardens of Denham Place. Behind me is the sunken garden that was constructed in the 1920s as part of the renovation that was done just to introduce something very new to the landscape that was originally done by Capability Brown. When we first arrived, it was very important to understand how the house is located and what the orientations are, and digging into history of where the entrance used to be, because today the entrance is through the village center, but the old entrance used to to be on the opposite side, over the river. Restoring that was the fundamental part of reconstruction of this history. Every time you exit the house, you are somewhere unique, somewhere beautiful, somewhere totally different to the other spaces. It's a paradise to be in.
Dating from the 17th century, this property is important to our history and its legacy will continue for years to come. It's a country house virtually in London, it's so close. Steeped in history, it's a unique estate with an impeccable provenance. It's a work of art and it's on the market for £75 million.